Being a parent is a privilege that we sometimes take for granted.
What's up, Dad?
D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many names before me. D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many names before me. D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many names before me. D-A-D, that's the name of a man. I tip my hat to the many names before me. D-A-D, I tip my hat to.
We were part of your conception, our first connection. For 9 months after that, we too craved confections. Watching you grow was a real reflection on the love that we would get from our heart's collection. Gonna teach you lessons, give good impressions. We'll always keep you close so you won't have to be down. Anticipation and excitement now part of the game. So I read just to speak your name. We're bursting at the seams, we can't wait to meet you. We thought of every. And what's up? And welcome to Dadchop, where we chop it up, dad style. Right on. What's up, dynamic astronomical dudes? Yeah, here we are, doing our thing as per the trying to become the norm, so that way I can get y'all vested in here and we can hang out, we can chat, we can do these things. So I'm ready. So today I want to start off by saying it's raining, it's pouring, and like, boy is it pouring, because my whole backyard is flooded right now, which is pretty awesome for the little bit of grass that does grow here. My turtle's out there enjoying himself, catching up on some well-needed hydration. Let me see what this is telling me here real quick, and then I'll get this adjusted in volume. Right, there we go. So we'll get that turned down. And thanks. There we go. Go there. And then it's just going to be no interruptions, or a few. Because if my family hits me up, I've got to take those, because Dad chop. We do chop it up. But when there's that family thing, you got to take care of, man. You got to go. Well, not really go. Just handle it, or at least respond. Because, if you don't respond, you get in trouble, right? Especially like, man, I know you got a cell phone. I know you got that message. What message you talking about? Then you look and you feel a little bad because you're like, ooh-wee. I know I was supposed to look, but I forgot. We were sharing correspondence, my spouse and I, about dinner again this evening. So, trying to figure out the dinner situation. Ultimately, I think my son and I are going to have a steak again, maybe. That dude's been eating steak like every day. And of course, he has no problem with that. Like, steak could be his life. Now, what I would like is maybe some scallops to add with my steak. Oh, goodness. Well, can start off with asking. Well, I wanted to keep that for later, because I really definitely want to have a discussion if people are prepared for the movie Prey. Yeah, I think that was pretty hot. Of course, we don't have to discuss it in detail, because I don't want to be one of those dudes that spoiled the movie for somebody who's like really serious about, like, don't tell me what happens, kind of thing, because I do know people that are serious about that. Like, please just don't even say anything. And you're like, okay, I'll say nothing, but just remember, it's a good movie, and that's really all I wanted to address, is the fact that it is actually a really good flick. And again, coming from the perspective of a Predator fan, because, all the Predator movies are always awesome. Like, just hands down, I enjoy the Predator flicks. I think they're pretty dope. So, anytime I can watch a Predator movie, even if I've seen it 50,000 times already, I'll still watch it. I still got to check it out, make sure that everything is good, checking out this comb job. I thought I did. Maybe it's disappearing into the blueness of my shirt. But nonetheless, yeah, just being a Predator fan, you know, is what it is, man. But I do like sci-fi, so sci-fi is always like super cool, you know. But yesterday I found myself cleaning, which I was gonna give some Chuck from Dadchop cleaning tips, and basically say we got a few things we likes to do. But yesterday I moved all the furniture in one room to the center of the room, you know, each a piece at a time, of course, and had to vacuum all the extra dog hair and dust and just buildup of stuff, man. I was like, holy cow, I was just vacuuming. They had one bed that they had torn apart, and all the filling from the inside of that was all, you know, under the freaking couch, and the cushion was looking ragged. So I modified it, I cleaned it up, I sprayed that one, put it outside in the sun, let the sun baste off some germs, and then I took another bed that they had and I put that inside of that bed once I washed the outside, you know, case. And then I put it all in the pillowcase together to cover up, first of all, that section of hole so that that different bed is in there. And then the bed underneath, I flipped the holes they made, and that way it's just a flat surface. And it's stacked up really nice, and then it has the, you know, nice little outside pillow that goes around the edge. So that actually turned out pretty clean, and so that was like a task and a half, though, because, you know, taking those apart and then putting the stupid bed back inside of the case is just like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. So that took a second, but once I got that done, I was like, okay, cool. So then I mopped, I took some of my cleanser, and I've got the wooden panel walls, so I just went ahead and mopped that lower wall, along the walls, get the dust off. Far more efficient than sitting there trying to vacuum a wall. That's just that's not happening. I mean, it could happen. It is possible. I'm not gonna say it's not possible, but that's just not the technique I use. Even if you swept it first and then mopped, you know, just whatever. Nonetheless, allows you to mop the floorboard in that area. Get that residual that you couldn't get with the vacuum up or your sweeping tool. And then you get that done. That's done. Then I work my way out. So from behind the couch, mop the floor, make sure that's handled, and then move the couch back into position, rinse the mop, prep the mop with the next line of cleanser, wherever I'm putting that, and then just keep on doing my thing. The living room looked good, to say the least. All furniture having been moved, all allergens having been mopped up, swept up, mopped up, vacuumed up, however you want to look at it. All the rugs were squared away. Everything was done. And I was like, whew, by the end, because it's like you start a project like that, but then like after you moved your third or fourth piece of furniture, you're like, goodness gracious, and what's left? You know, if anything, you know, you're like, my God. So that was quite a bit. That was an arduous task. Coming from the realm of cleaning. Just saying that was like a bit. But it's just something that has to be done frequently. Not really super frequently, but enough to, you know, keep it flowing in here. You know, the air nice and clean. You want to sit in that room. You want to be able to sit in that room. And, it's like, okay, well, you know, we're going to do it this way. So, that being the case, I'm just going to sit back here because this silly hip of mine is doing its thing. But nonetheless, yeah, it's just something that needs to be done. It's like a cyclic thing, you know, and in my mind, there's just like a calendar. Okay, it is now time. whether it be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Try to just stay on task with that, keeping things clean. I think outside of that, I think I did the bathrooms and handled that. And I always use paper towels and a sponge, and the sponge is always for the sink and the tub. The toilet gets the paper towel treatment because I can't see using the same sponge on the toilet, of course, right? Of course not. And then you do the same thing with, like I wipe down the walls. Because you gotta wipe the walls, man. It's crazy how much dust accumulates out here. Just along the walls because of the ventilation system or the swamp cooler, the way it blows whatever, in through the air it draws in from outside. And you're like, holy cow, man. So there's always that challenge, keeping that clean. So bathrooms, yeah, kind of a once over thing. Just knock those right on out. The other side of the cleaning is the rugs. Like the bathroom rugs around here, because I have dogs, are just, there's dog hair. It's like, dang, you gotta figure out what color rugs you want to use, because there's just some rug colors that don't work. So we got some black rugs from my mother-in-law, and we put those in the kids' bathroom, and it's, they work, but it's they're black. So all my dogs are tan, dang near, and the only one that doesn't shed is the Yorkie. So that's it. So everything else sheds. So I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Rugs are a challenge, but just manage them, especially the washing thing, because my washing machine is actually trying to act like a nut. So we're going to try to figure this out and either get it repaired or, I don't know, replacement really doesn't seem to be an option right at this moment. But, I don't even know what their repair would be. Then you got sorry, it's like another something. I'm just gonna move this. Sorry, I don't understand that. Nonetheless, another something cleaning wise was the vacuum. So I used a new vacuum yesterday, and the new vacuum operated optimally. So that's cool. Got a lot of the dog hair up and just handled that. So it was like just cleaning, and then I made dinner, and then that was that. And that consisted of something on the grill. I think it was, well, I made chicken. I know. Just don't say I talk about food, because then you'd be like, yo, food, right? But yeah, it was good. So it turned out cool. Everybody got to eat. Everybody was happy. House was clean. All the laundry got facilitated yesterday. It was like 5 loads, to include some bedding. So, right, busy, righteously so. Oh my goodness. And then before I even got to clean, I had to run an errand, and upon returning from the errand, I had my son with me, and we were headed home, and literally down the street from the house, this guy just pulls out of nowhere in front of me. Again, not necessarily out of nowhere, but to give you a clue, I see him sitting there. There's a guy dribbling a basketball right next to him. I see the dude sitting there. I continue to proceed because I'm the oncoming traffic. So I have the right of way, and then he's gonna wait. And it looks like that's exactly what's happening. He's sitting there waiting. Dude's dribbling the ball, and he's waiting for him to go. And after he goes, he'll continue his dribbling the ball up the street. And the next thing I know, this dude just pulls out like right in front of me, like man. So in my mind, I'm slamming on the brakes. And I'm thinking, if I continue to slam on the brakes, I'm still proceeding toward this dude at a pretty high rate of speed. I mean, I'm not speeding, but the guy, I mean, literally pulled out in front of me, right? So as he's driving across me, I'm trying to accommodate for what he's doing and end up swerving and still having to stay in front of him. Like I have to avoid him hitting me. And so in order to do that, because if I stop my car right here, he's now going to hit me. So I proceed and have to jump onto the median, drive through the rocks, jump over the other side of the median, and come back off facing westbound traffic. I didn't get hit. I didn't tear up my whip. I felt like a stuntman. I was like, I really wished that someone had actually taped that and then made me viral. Like, look at this stunt driving sensation, right? Because, man, that was like, it had to be one of the, like, it sucked because it was all of a sudden and it had to be the reaction that it had to be. But at the same time, just the conscious mind to know that, like, if I can avoid this dude hitting my car, man, then I don't have that repair, one, and I just got these new tires, and I'm not saying I can jump this curb, but it was just a flash of if I stop, if I try to continue to stop while I'm headed toward him, I'm gonna T-bone this dude. If I turn, or as I'm turning rather, I just see that he's coming, because he was still like trying to get across and do the thing, and then once it hit his brain, his ability to stop right where he was at wasn't even in effect. So I have to now avoid stopping and letting this dude hit me, and I am conscious of mind enough to know to get over this curb or this median, and right, curb still, hit these rocks, and just basically get the hell away from this dude as best I can without actually stepping on the gas. I was just like, yo, this is crazy. You're breaking through this shit. It was like insane. It was just insane. And it's all in a flash. So again, you gotta, thanks Reggie. You gotta know that, like, for real, that was like crazy. That was insane. Like, it just happened and my mind was just like in a blur, like, yo, this is mad nuts. Like, I can't believe that I actually avoided this, man. It was crazy. I felt like a stunt driver. I was like, yo, man, this is crazy. Skirt. But shoot, I got to get my man on the show too, because we got to sit down in here and chop it up, man. I haven't seen him in a while. So, aside from that, there was the cleaning happened after the almost wreck. And it was great because the dude that was actually dribbling the basketball is a gentleman that I know who's an actor out here as well. And he was on his way back to his house. And so he had his athletic, workout gear on, dribbling. And he stopped by, because where we stopped at to talk, the gentleman that we almost wrecked into, we stopped to talk, and he was shook. And there was like nothing, no harm, no foul. But my mind wasn't clear. I'm like, we need to file a report. And I'm like, for what though? I drove over a curb. Like, just an idiot was on the road, and that's what you got to chalk it up to. And not even an idiot, because we all make mistakes, so I'm not gonna down him like that. What I'm gonna say is a non-attentive dude because he never looked back at the direction from which we approached. He looked up and proceeded. That was as simple as it was. So, with that having happened, I just felt like, okay, like, cool, But we were talking, and then this gentleman rolled up. He's like, "You're good." I was like, "Yeah, man, that was crazy." He's like, "Man, I saw the whole thing." I'm like, "Yeah, that was nuts." He was standing right there. Like, he was literally standing right next to dude on the sidewalk as dude was getting ready to pull out. And like I said, there was no indicator at all that my man was coming through at all. Because I thought he was already sitting there. Right. So what we got to do is the 1 o'clock thing. So when you have a time like that, we can do that. We can actually even just shoot an additional thing. I just need to plan the day that you would come so we can actually let anybody who's viewing know, hey, we're going to have this guest on this day. And then that way I could tell them a Sunday. Because I was actually trying to, decide whether or not I was going to do, whether I was going to add like a Saturday and maybe take away like the Friday. Because Friday people are still trying to scramble. And for those of us who are parents, right, I know that on Friday we're trying to take our family to dinner, a movie, Top Golf, something, right? So, yeah. But, I'll tighten up my communication with you, though, for sure, sir. I just been running, like I was going down this task list of, clean up with my wife working now. Um, uh, Behind school, getting everything and doing the thing now, the official thing. It's like, man, like dinners fluctuating. My son's now back in school, and I've been trying to prep him to get him ready mentally to go back even. And now it's like, I'm back on that grind again where it's like clean, make sure the whole house is taken care of. I am Robo Dad. And so I'm putting on the Robo Dad hat and I'm handling Robo Dad activities. And then when they get home, dinner's either cooked or at least we put some thought behind what was gonna be eaten. Like I made some bomb chicken last night on the grill, and I'm talking about the color was beautiful. Like Chef Ramsay would have patted me on my spine and been like, "Good job, Charles," right? And I'd have been like, "Awesome, chef." And then I'd have messed up the carrots or something stupid next week and been a donkey or something. Who knows, right? So, just having gotten that done, that was cool. And there was a lot of laundry. But outside of that, that's just a recap of the beginning of what I spoke about and just a few tips on cleaning. And then, the wreck. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then my daughter, that's coming up, her moving soon. So just everybody's growing up, man. I mean, it's really crazy. Everybody's getting big on me. Everybody's got their own personal agendas and their own little schedules and so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. So my wife and I are like trying to do more things together too. So like a lot of my time is definitely been going to whatever she wants to do or whatever we're going to do, because I feel like, that's another part of being responsible. And like how can I say, you have a responsibility to love yourself and the people around you. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's an emotional obligation. You feel what I mean? Like, I love my family. I love giving that to them because I feel like every swipe of every piece of dust or every meal that's cooked or every load of laundry that's folded or every floor that's mopped and swept or every bedroom that's cleaned or every bed that's made is like a sign of me giving you a flower. Basically, I gave you roses today, because you didn't have to come home and clean any bathrooms. You didn't have to come home and cook any food. If you elected not to, I can handle that. You know, I do know that people in this house tend to be hands-on too with a lot of their own stuff. So, you know, if they want to eat, like my daughter said tonight, she'll probably have pizza. Well, I was going to make a steak because my son wanted steak, I'm sure, you know, and make sure I understood him right. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, that'd be cool. So, let's see. Word, I'll definitely do that for sure, sir. Hit my man after we get done chatting today, you know? Again, here on Dadchop, where we chop, chop, chop it up. Dad style, right? So, nonetheless, you know, with everybody being on their own schedule, things have kind of picked up for me as far as the things that I like to be able to make sure I maintain. But with today's rain, I'm not maintaining much of anything because I got 4 dogs and they all got to go outside and use the bathroom and they're all going to track mud in here and it's just going to happen. So I'm preparing my mind for it. But got to make sure that I stay on top of everything because they are 4 rambunctious nuts. So they do their thing. But nobody's really pooping in the house but the littles. And that's just because that's what they do. And they do that whether it's raining outside or not. So I can't prevent it. So they just get scolded and I get it up and keep it clean. All right. So the other question again was Prey. So I was just wondering if anybody saw Prey, and if you did and you happen to watch this rebroadcast live, just hit me down below in the comment section about what you thought. You don't have to give any information if you don't like, because I know some people are super sensitive about spoilers or knowing anything about anything. Just don't tell me. So you don't have to really reveal or divulge too much information. You don't have to, we can Siskel and Ebert it like next week together and see if we all think the same thing. Because I thought it was a pretty good movie. And again, coming from the perspective of somebody who just likes the Predator series of movies, hey, it's a good flick. Not gonna knock it. Enjoyed it. Matter of fact, was willing to watch it again. You know, so I tried to peep it with my spousal unit, but something happened that evening. I think we took my son to dinner or something. Anyhow, we didn't get into it. So, and nobody was interested in watching the movie Luck. So I was like, okay, the Apple joint. So I was like, cool. I mean, I'll watch it when I get a chance. Other than that, I won't press it. See, with my family, it's very sensitive. You gotta be like, oh, real quick recap of the question was, did you see the movie Prey yet with the Predator? And that's it's a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. So I'm just figure we'll critique it next week, you know, on the show, but you know, not even critique, but you know, give your opinion about what you thought, you know. But this week I'm not asking for spoilers for anybody, just in case they didn't see it. So yeah. But yeah, I was gonna say my family, you know, they're not really super excited about like sci-fi stuff. Like that's all me. Like my granddad brought me up on Godzilla flicks and Jet Jaguar and Ultraman and Spectreman and the Space Giants. So right, you know, when you do see it, you're gonna like it. I think, I'm sure. But yeah, my granddad brought me up on all kinds, on all, you know, all the robot space dudes, the Clint Eastwood movies, Charles Bronson movies. Granddad showed me all of it. because it was all relevant. Dirty Harry was dope, you know. And then anytime Clint Eastwood was in a Western, fistful of dollars, fistful of dynamite, any fistful of anything. I even watched the spaghetti westerns with the cowboy named Trinity. They say Trinity is still my name, little dusty cowboy, man. That was my homie. I love those spaghetti westerns as well. So, yeah, I enjoyed that era of television and everything that my grandfather lent to me in that. So for me, I'll watch a good western. I'll watch a sci-fi movie and a series like Predator. They're not all perfect, no, but neither were all the X-Men movies. And you know, we all mustered our way through those and managed to get through them. So, you know, for the ones that were really great, great. Just like all the Marvel stuff, you know, some of the stuff has been good, and some of the stuff has been a little suspect. You know, like you're like that's not anywhere near what happened in the story or whatever. But you know, because I got some comics, right? So you got comic book collectors out there, and some of this stuff I don't know about. Not from any comics I ever read, but it's cool. I'm not gonna put a down on anything because I'm still enjoying the entertainment value of getting the Marvel movies, getting the DC movies, you know, getting the Image comic flicks, you know. So I'm not, no, I'm not fronting. But I will say that my family is picky enough to be like, man, I don't want to see that. Nah, I'm not interested in that, and they'll just shoot you down. So they don't necessarily always want to be involved in the overall movie experience. But I do want to check out I Am Groot on Disney, because they're doing like these little 6-minute features, little shorts, I guess. And so the first one is already uploaded today, so I will probably check that out. And it looks fun, you know. It's Groot, and he's Groot, right? Because Groot is Groot. Just kidding, because I was about to go off on a whole Groot thing. But yeah, see, like I'll invite my family to watch something like that. Now they might watch Groot, one because it's short, but then because it is short, they may be like, dude, I got something else I could do with that 6 minutes of my life than watch this. So maybe when they put a couple more out, I'll sit down in my own room or wherever I'm at, and I'll watch it there. Thank you though. Like, what? So, I'm like, yeah, I was going to say, they're not big comic book family, you know. They are not really into that. So, not a big comic book family do I have. So, I'll take that. They do like adventure movies. Then we talked last time about their TV likes, which are just far too many for me to even ingest. But I do like a lot of on the flip side, I do like a lot of movies. So, or the anime series, like I'm watching Whack Fu right now on Netflix. And I love the artwork. I like the way like the fight scenes look. Man, like really cool, like really cool cinematic quality. It's so like not expected, you know what I mean? Like when you watch it, you're like, holy cow, this is kind of cool. And like I said, the artwork is really neat. It's like I like the way it's drawn, or I like the way the characters move, or like, you know, when they blink, sometimes it's just like an actual blink to the eye. People might even adjust. Like, I mean, just like the artwork is really nice. So it's definitely a cool visual. And there's 3 seasons, and I'm in season 1, and I think I'm on like episode 8 or something like that, season 1. But it's called Whack Fu. And it's cool the way the story moves as well. Like, everything is kind of a moving pace, and it's not like episodic, or it is episodic as opposed to like where it's just like, okay, this is a series, so on this episode they solve this case, and on This episode, they solve a whole something other story. No, the story's still going in succession. Episodes actually follow each other. So if they ended in the village, you know, with the bread baker dude, then next episode they're still in the village, planning on leaving the village, and still talking to the bread baker, having maybe a meal with dude. I mean, it's really well put together so far, and I'm enjoying that. So again, Whack Fu, and that's on Netflix. Not that I'm doing any ads for anybody, but for the connoisseur of anime and or things that you like that, I'm doing that for you and me, because I am a connoisseur of said things with my eyeballs. Hear my eyes smacking? Nah, eating it up. So yeah, that's definitely something I enjoy. There's another movie about the office, something or other. Aliens taking over an office, and this crew of workers and co-workers get together and do battle against them. So I'm gonna check that out. That's on Netflix. That just came out today. And then I'm waiting for Andor, of course, because it's Star Wars, and who's not gonna watch it? You know what I'm saying? If you're a Star Wars fan, you're gonna watch it. You see this ad over here, Yoda over here, a whole little Star Wars display right there. You know, droids and all kinds of stuff, man. And then X-Wing over there. And then Millennium Falcon in the back. And of course, I have my figures and such. Like, it's, you know, in all actuality, Star Wars has got to be one of the, if not the best science fictions ever. I mean, and the reason I said one of is because I know the other side of the debate is always Star Trek. I get it. There are tons of Star Trek episodes and shows and movies and lots of Trekkies. And I will be the first to say that, yes, I am an original James T. Kirk, Spock, etc., guy, right? So I was there. I was there as a youth, and those were the shows we were watching, like Lost in Space. Danger Will Robinson, like, childhood memories, you know? Shoot, we're watching The Addams Family on TV, and with my aunt every afternoon, she would watch, we watched that. We would watch, Andy Griffith came on in the afternoon as well. Leave It to Beaver was mornings. I don't know, like somebody in my family was always watching some series like the Lucille Ball Show. I watched that. I even remember my grandparents watched Lawrence Welk. I mean, just everything. It was pretty wild. Good times. No matter how you try to chalk it up, you know, it's like, you gotta know those were still wholesome times. You know, American Bandstand. You know, I understand that, you know, you could look at things and go, okay, well, they didn't have like a lot of, you know, African American shows or anything like that, but it didn't matter because like they were still trying to show family value in like a lot of shows. You know what I'm saying? Laverne and Shirley. You know, everybody wants to tell the story about how they were, you know, dating or whatever. Like, guess what? When I was a kid, none of that ever entered my mind, dude. All I knew was those chicks lived together. They were like sisters, and they hung out with Lenny and Squiggy. And Lenny and Squiggy could get you in trouble. And they knew Fonzie. And then the Cunninghams. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just the merger of those stories like that made things, like, super, super cool, right? Like, we loved Happy Days. I watched Happy Days with my mom nightly. You know what I'm saying? Whenever it was on, we watched Happy Days. You know what I'm saying? Fonzarelli Curtis was the dude, and my man was like nice. He had Pinky Tuscadero. You know what I'm saying? Like there was like mad things popping off, and you just enjoyed that. Shoot, my mom even watched Three's Company, and that was another show. I mean, BJ and the Bear was one of my favorites because that's what I was gonna do. I figured when I grew up was have a semi and a monkey, and I was gonna drive all over the United States. A semi and a monkey. Oh man, BJ McKay, and this is his best friend Bear. Yeah, that was my one of my go-tos. Sorry, got some pen in my finger. But yeah, I'm like, that, Dukes of Hazzard I watched, Chips I watched, and you know, none of anything really mattered to me as a kid other than the fact that there was value in watching this super orange car race away from the police and clown this goofy sheriff and his dog Flash. I'm gonna get them these big boys. And Boss Hogg, Enos, yada yada yada. Daisy Duke, Duke Brothers, the Uncle Ben. What's that the uncle's name? Nonetheless, we all watched it. I watched it. Those are our shows. Then you had the cartoons, you know. We had cartoons every Saturday morning till about noon. And then by noon, it was usually, you know, the sports broadcast took over, you know what I'm saying? And then it was Wonderful World of Sports. But before that, you know, you got your fill. And then cartoons started to become a little bit more, you know, okay, you're going to go to about 1 now. If you just keep flipping the channels, you can find different cartoons at different times and take yourself to about 1 o'clock before you got to commit to sports or something else or getting outside and playing on riding your big wheel or something because time to move on. Cartoons are over. So I do remember watching mad cartoons. I was a cartoon head, totally. So cartoons then were fun, and they still are now. And it's cool to actually see the transition and see what the kids get as far as cartoons now, like Phineas and Ferb and Amphibia right now. That's what's popping. Those things. I'm not really sure about any too much else. I mean, I guess they're still on. What is it? Darn it. I don't know. I can't think of it. It's an anime, and it's in my head, and they're doing the fighting with the tops or the something. I don't know. It's not coming to me right now. But nonetheless, that's another popular one. I want to say Yu-Gi-Oh is on there. That's what it is. But nonetheless, just the difference, you know. And then of course, I'm a big anime fan, so I'm always trying to check out a new anime. And that's how I fell into that whack food because I just let me see what this looks like. And then after, like, I fell into, like, the beginning of the story, it was, like, cool. And the way they even told it was super awesome. So they just kind of rolled in and said, okay, here's the presentation. Here's the characters. Take that, take that, take that, right? They diddied us. He diddied us. Take that, take that. So we took it. And I was like, yo, my mind was, like, soaking it in. And I was like, this is a cool story. So after I finished cleaning, that was like, you know, as I wound down cleaning, that's what I ended up doing was getting into that and checking that out, and that was actually really awesome. So like I said, don't miss out if you don't have to. Whack Fu on Netflix. Wow. So other than that, just waiting for Thor to be the thing. I want to see this Black Panther movie because Black Panther is supposed to have Namor, right? And that is awesome. Like, we've already been given Aquaman from DC. You know what I'm saying? We've already been given Aquaman. So, I want to see Namor with the wing ankles, and you know what I'm saying? Like, handling the business. Namor. So, Prince. Yep, Submariner. And I have a couple of those comics too, I'm sure. Yeah, that was my dude, man. I used to dig the cat. And I was like, yo, and then he can fight you on land too and bust your bubble. Yeah, Submariner was always ill. But you know, we still took our hat off to Aquaman because Aquaman was one of the first dudes. And anytime we would be at the pool and my friends would be like Superman and Batman, I always picked Aquaman. I was like, dude, we are in water. Now, I know Superman is bad, so he can just hold his breath as long as he can hold his breath. But see, son, I breathe this, and I breathe your air. So I could breathe this, I can talk to some sharks, I can get their assistance, I can get some fish assistance here, and I can breathe down here. So my character is super cool. Now, of course, as a human being, I know there are limitations. So, never did, of course. Obviously, I drowned myself. But in my mind, I was like, yo, I got the illest power if we're out here in real life and I'm really Aquaman. I can breathe in the water, fool. You don't have gills. You're just holding your breath for a super long time because you're freaking Superman. And Batman, you're going to need to put one of the little gaskets from your utility belt in your mouth and dive, you know. Have, you know, like the little instant diver equipment. So, y'all got limitations. I mean, granted, I guess Superman could hold his breath for like a really long time. But, again, Aquaman can breathe in the water. So, yeah. Yeah. So, Aquaman, hats off, bro. Especially around the swimming pool in your local neighborhoods. Good luck. Hopefully, you're still being chosen as the number one superhero when you're playing at the pool. That'd be really cool, because that's the truth. And as far as when you're playing DC, now when you're playing over in the Marvel universe, you know, you got a couple people you could choose from. My personal preference, of course, if I was going to do water dude stuff and what's not, definitely be Namor. Because, you know, he's already Prince of Atlantis, so you already know he's equipped to be in the water and on the land. So, yeah. Gotta go with Namor in Marvel. And then, I don't know, who else? I guess it's so crazy because, like, you know, they show Professor Xavier in the movies, or in the comics at least, they tell us he's like the most powerful mind in the, you know, universe, aside from, you know, Jean Grey or the Phoenix, but only when, you know, of course, her psychic powers are where they're at, and she is a beast. However, Charles Xavier is supposed to be the leading mind on the planet Earth, at least, if we don't want to even deem it the universe. But, like, gosh, like, I hate when they depict him as having, like, these crazy limitations. Like, in some movies, they show him, you know, stop an entire room in time and space, so he's able to slow everything down to where everybody's still moving and they're still doing the thing they think they're doing. But he's slowed time down enough or sped it up enough or whatever it is he's able to do with the mind to have you doing these things, right? Or being able to talk to you directly, and then everybody else is just not here kind of thing. But they show him doing some like really remarkable stuff in the movies, and then they turn around and then show him having all these ridiculously crazy limitations. And I'm just like, okay, like whatever, man. I don't know. I think they jack up a lot of the movies, and not intentionally, but somebody has good intentions, of course. They just see something a little bit differently than they probably should be sharing with us, because it may not be the move, you know? Well, shoot. We've been sitting here chopping it up for a good little bit. You know, if you're here, thank you for coming. If you come and watch later, thanks for checking it out. This is Dadchop, where we chop it up, dad style, right? You've been chilling with Chuck in the Dad Lab, and all you dynamic astronomical dudes out there, have a fantastic rest of your day. I got to go get ready to start making dinner. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Got merch. You can peep that out because it's there. And just take a look. No obligation to buy. Just take a peek so you can see what you could be wearing right here on Dadchop. I'm Chuck. And we out. Peace!
I remember how I felt when you don't always seen. So this is a global shout to all dads, dynamic astronomical dudes. Being a parent is a privilege that we sometimes take for granted.
What's up, Dad?
D-A-D, that's the name of a man.